Go ahead and resume recording. All right, welcome everyone. Let me go ahead and turn my video on so you guys can see me as well. Just want to say thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm Lynette Schaefer. I will be going through EiKO's Q1 2023 product launches. There is a lot to get to, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. But of course, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I said too fast, just go ahead and use the chat, or you can raise your hand. I can take you off of mute. You can also use the Q&A too, whatever you're most comfortable with. So I actually wanted to start with a little bit of a case study that we did. This is kind of exciting. So this was the city of Northbrook, Illinois. This was just this was a very large project actually, but the case study itself was actually on a very small part of the entire project. It was on Techney Park, as to be exact. But this entire project included the golf courses, the ball fields, the athletic fields, the skate park, and many other areas. What was really cool about this project is that it was an easy one-for-one replacement. As a matter of fact, the entire project consisted of about 1,387 SIG fixtures and 521
Lynette, we couldn't hear you.
Not only today, but also into the future are going to be controls ready. And so that's kind of why I wanted to start with this particular case study. So just to kind of give you some ideas, the comments from the installer is that it was an easy one-for-one replacement. You could easily incorporate network lighting controls, very quick and very easy install. We had field adjustable optics on some of these products that they used. It was the right price. It was great working with EiKO, and it's also DLC approved as well. So our network lighting controls were DLC. So when we look at this particular project, you can kind of see a side-by-side comparison. Again, this is just a small little portion of the entire large project, but it was kind of cool to see how they went from the before to the after, and how well the parking lot made that the lighting just made a huge change. So not a tremendous amount of energy savings because the parking lots weren't really being burned that long, but overall the safety and security was the #1 selling feature in this particular situation. Now, what helped drive this project? Well, first of all, Josh McCoy, he is with Lead Electric. He basically approached the Northbrook Park District and then said, hey, why don't we think about doing some sort of lighting for energy efficiency? There's some really great rebates offered by ComEd. And of course, the Park District said, yeah, that's a great idea. We want to save energy. We want to save money. We want to improve lighting. But overall, what they really wanted to do is take all that savings and go invest it in other things throughout the park. And they were able to do that. The other thing, as I mentioned, that really helped push this project over the edge were the rebates. It wasn't so much the rebates on the fixture themselves, it was the ability to add network lighting controls. So the way that the ComEd rebates worked out is that when you add network lighting controls to a fixture, you get a tremendous amount of energy savings. And of course, you also get a tremendous amount of rebates back from ComEd particularly. So the last slide I wanted to just kind of share with you here is overall, they were extremely happy with the outcome. It was a great improvement. It was uniform light, so much better for the athletes. And by the way, in the chat, I'm excited to see what you're going to say about this. So you probably noticed that that skate park is green in the before picture, but in the after picture, it's actually white. So the question I have for you is, why in the world would the concrete be green in the before picture, but white in the after picture? And I can tell you, they did not do anything with their concrete at all. It's the same concrete as on day one, before and after. So I'm just kind of curious if you guys want to play along with me here in the chat, just write down what you think might have caused this to happen. And I'm not going to stay here for too long because I said we had a lot to get to. So does anybody want to take a stab in the dark? Everybody's kind of scared. They're like, I don't know. Well, in case you're thinking it was color shift, it was not color shift. It was actually that there was so much mold on the inside of that fixture because the previous fixtures did not have a very good seal. And so it was actually causing the fixture, the lamp itself to penetrate through the lens of the fixture, and it made the skate park green, which was amazing. So anyways, the thing to take away from that is it's always really important to make sure you've got a good solid gasket and you seal up those fixtures. So Yes, you can also, sorry, I guess the chat's disabled for whatever reason, but you can use the Q&A. So I'm just curious, did anybody say, yes, sorry, Chris, thank you for pointing that out. I'm not sure why the chat was disabled, but use the Q&A. But anyway, since I already answered that, I guess we won't worry about anybody giving me their opinion. I'm guessing some of you probably said color shift, but it's crazy enough that that was not actually the case. So the other thing I just wanted to touch base on real quick too, is that I mentioned to you that the reason that we won that project, a lot of it had to do with the fact that we were able to easily add our controls to our fixtures. Many of the controls that we're going to be launching are going to be controls ready. And so what that means is you can easily add controls to the fixture, whether it's a twist lock design. So in other words, the fixture will actually have a twist lock receptacle. You can easily twist lock in whatever standalone or network lighting control solution you want. We also have a the screw in design, which allows you to actually screw in the standalone or network lighting control into that fixture. And our most recent one, which probably won't be out until about the July timeframe, is the snap-in kind of cool feature. This is going to be available on our volumetric, our standard volumetric, and also our retrofit. But you can see you just basically remove a little cap and then you plug in this little, or snap-in, I should say, snap in this little push button sensor. So, and that would be network lighting controls and ready to go. And that's how simple it is. So you don't even really need an electrician to do it. Not that everybody needs to know that, but anybody can change these. They're super easy, super simple. Now, with that being said, if you guys have been kind of paying attention to our portfolio reset, we are very excited to announce that we have basically gone through, evaluated our portfolio. We now have an offer of base SKUs and flex SKUs. As you look at this roadmap for Q1, these are all the products that we launched in January, February, March. These are all the products that I will be deep diving into today. In Q2, our plan is to launch these products that you see here, many of which are products that we've already had. We're just making some minor modifications to them, or we're making them so they're controls ready, or we're just making different changes to make them more energy efficient or more user friendly, or whatever the case is. And this is what Q3 is looking like currently. Now, keep in mind, these dates can change, and these are the dates that we're launching the product, not the date that it should be available on the shelf. So if we're launching in August, the product could be on the shelf in August. However, it could potentially be early September. So there's a little bit of a lag time. So just kind of keep that in mind. And obviously I realized lately we've been having the product arrive in our warehouse before we even get to launch. I guess it's a good problem to have, but our goal is to try to get it out to you guys at least 30 days in advance. All right, so if there's no questions, I'm going to continue to move on to our first product, and that is our A-shape lamps. These are offered in an A15 and A19. Various base sizes, and you also have the option of either glass or plastic. All glass lamps are wet location. So if you're trying to figure out whether or not it's wet or dry, if it's a glass lamp, it's going to be wet. If it's plastic, it's going to be damp. The A15 plastic models are available in an E12 candelabra base, an E17 intermediate, or an E26 medium. You've got the option of 5.5 watts up to 8 watts. That's about 450 lumens to 800 lumens and 3000 Kelvin. You also have the choice of 10,000 or 15,000 hours. Also, some of these are dimmable via triac dimming. Those models with 15,000 hours are dimmable and meet Energy Star. Now, our plastic A19s are available in the E26 medium base or the GU24. Watts range from 5.5 watts to 15 watts, 450 lumens up to 1600. 27, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000 K are your options. 80 or 90 CRI, and again, 10 or 15,000 in addition to 25,000 hours rated life. Some are dimmable, and those that are dimmable also meet Energy Star, and those, of course, that are 90 CRI also meet Title 20 JA8. So moving into our last one, our glass offering. Again, these are all going to be wet location. For the A15, all models are medium base, 2.5 watts up to 7 watts, 250 lumens to 800 lumens, and all are available in 2700K, 80 CRI, 15,000 hours, dimmable, and meet Energy Star. And last up is our A19 glass. All of these are available in E26 medium base, 450 lumens up to 1600. You've got 27, 3,000, and 4,000 K. 80 and 90 CRI SKUs are available, and these are all going to be 15,000 hours. They are dimmable, Energy Star, and those with 90 CRI also meet Title 20 and JA8. So before I move on to the next slide, I think we might have had a questions. Are these rated for enclosed fixtures? That's a great question. So you know what? Every single spec sheet always has ambient operating temperature. So our answer to this question is look on the spec sheet, look at the ambient operating temperature. If you think it's going to be going into a fixture that's going to exceed the ambient operating temperature when that fixture is completely enclosed, then no, you probably shouldn't put it in that fixture. If you feel like it is a fixture that is going to be okay for that ambient temperature that's rated on the spec sheet, then you're probably fine. So that is the best way I can answer that question for you. So hopefully you're okay with that. Not a solid yes or no, huh? But ambient temperature, just take a peek at that. I will tell you that I have put these in a couple of enclosed fixtures. I haven't had too many issues with them. Sometimes if you have like 3 or 4 of them all combined in a very small, tight area, and they're all creating heat, you might be able to have some issues there. So that would be the only concern that I would have with that. All right, so Ken, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk. If you didn't mean to, you don't have to unmute yourself, but I think you raised your hand. So if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask what your question is. All right, so just as a summary for these A-shaped lamps before we move on to the next product, all of these do work on 120 volts. The SKUs, as you saw from my previous slide, they range from 2.5 to 15 watts. It just depends on which one you're going with, whether the A15, the A19 glass or plastic. These are 123 lumens per watt, or up to 123 lumens per watt. Up to 1600 lumens. Again, it depends on the SKU. These all do feature just the static CCT. And again, depending upon the SKU, you have a choice of 27, 3000, 4000, and 5000 K. The biggest key feature of these A lamps is that they do come in those 2 sizes. A15 is commonly used for fans where you don't have a lot of space. But then, of course, you've got the A19 that's commonly used in a lot of other applications. These 2 shapes basically ensure that you find the best fit for the fixture. There's a wide range of bases, E12, E17, E26, GU24. And as you probably heard me mention, the 90 CRI models more accurately produce the colors of the objects they illuminate, but a lot of them also meet that Title 20 or the JA8 as well. Besides these key features, there's some other selling features that are worth knowing. One of them is that the frosted plastic lamps provide more of a diffuse light, while the clear glass lamps are going to provide more of a brighter, more visual sparkle. As far as operating temperature goes, going back to that, -4 degrees Fahrenheit up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, that would be -20 C to 40 C. There are dimmable SKUs that do feature smooth triac dimming down to 10%. Just pay attention to the spec sheet on which ones are dimmable. And then as far as certifications go, we've got UL certified, FCC, RoHS. Dimmable versions meet Energy Star, while the 90 CRI models meet Title 20, JA8. There are options for both damp and wet location, and you have either a 1 or 3-year warranty. All right, and I think we got one more question that came up on this. The new A19, 15 watt and 13 watt are not available in 5000 K dimmable. Will they be eventually? You know, we don't have our product manager on this call, so I'm probably going to have to get back to you on that question unless one of our other product managers want to reach out to Daniel via Teams for me and see if Daniel is willing to answer that question. I know he was on Teams just a few minutes ago. So Can or Colin, if you can maybe help with that, that would be great. That way we don't have to worry about getting back a question to Brett and the rest of the group.
I sent a message to him.
Thank you very much. So we'll circle back up with you, Brett, and let you know what we find out. All right. Good question. All right, moving on. So next we're going to move into our BR lamps available in BR20, BR30, and BR40. Now these are all plastic lamps with that traditional E26 medium base. 2 SKUs do feature field set, and actually that field set is 5 CCTs. You can kind of see it in that image there on the upper right-hand corner. So that's kind of cool, 5 CCTs. There are 3 BR30 SKUs that are more your price fighter SKUs coming in at 10,000 hours. All the other SKUs are going to be 25,000 hours, dimmable, 80 CRI, and meet Energy Star. And then there are also 2 of those specific ones that I just mentioned that also achieve 90 CRI. And you probably know by now, those are going to meet Title 20 JA8. So to kind of give you an overall summary of this BR lineup, we've got them all working on 120 volts. The SKUs range from 7 to 17 watts. 78 to 100 lumens per watt, up to 1,400 lumens. Most SKUs available in 27, 3,000, or 4,000 K. Field set version includes 27, 3,000, 35, 4,000, and 5,000 K. Again, 5 different CCTs on that one. The key features, of course, include that wide beam angle, the field set option that has those 5 CCTs, and of course that 90 CRI option also kind of makes it so you can see colors a little bit better. Additional selling features and things worth knowing is that the soft edges do produce fewer shadows. The polycarbonate frosted lens provides more of a diffuse light, and it also reduces the risk of injury and breakage because it is plastic. So I can tell you, I've dropped this thing a couple of times, it does not break. As far as operating temperature and being able to use these in enclosed fixtures, you've got a -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So as long as that fixture is not going to exceed that, you should be in pretty good shape. The dimmable SKUs do feature smooth triac dimming down to 10%, and certifications, much like the A lamps, you've got UL certified, FCC, RoHS. Dimmable versions meet Energy Star, while 90 CRI models meet that Title 20 JA8, and you have either a 1 or 3-year warranty. So before I move on, Can, did we get an answer on this one question that's outstanding from Daniel?
Yeah, for the new A19 and the 50 more than 30 watt, we do not have 5,000 K dimmable. Daniel redacted the oldest previous generation. So the previous generation we will have, the 5,000 K will still available.
Okay, and so the previous version we have reactivated. We were originally going to discontinue that previous version, but we are going to bring that previous version 5,000 K back in. Do you know, is that one dimmable, the previous version?
I don't know. Let me ask you.
That's fine. Yes, well, and you guys might know that anyways if you sold it previously. So if you do, just put it in the Q&A and let us know. But we can come back to you on that. So hopefully that answered your question. All right, moving forward, we're going to move into the type A lamps. Now, I always want to start with a little bit of refresher because I think it's really important that everybody understands the difference between a type A, a type B, and a type A plus B. We're not going to get into type C today, but for right now. So type A, easy, plug and play, directly replaces existing fluorescent lamps if it's compatible with the existing ballast. It's just a simple plug and play. Like I said, without the need for any wiring, you just have to make sure you check for the ballast compatibility first. So always refer to the spec sheet. There's a link out there that will take you to the ballast compatibility chart. Don't just assume that a type A will work on every single fluorescent ballast that's out there, because that's not the case. Now, one other thing that I just want to mention before we move in further to our type A offering, in general, we have updated our part numbers with our lamps. As you can see here, this particular one we do offer in a 2, 3, and 4 foot lengths, as well as 1 5/8 inch and 6 inch leg spacing U-bends. Additionally, as I mentioned, our part numbers change. So when you look at one of these part numbers that's listed, L is pretty easy. That's LED. 10 is the watts. W, of course, stands for watts. So far, so good, right? Pretty simple. T8 is the lamp size. 36 in this particular case is the length. So it's 36 inches. A is a type A. If it said type, or if it had AB, that means it would be a type AB. If it said B, it would be a type B, so forth. G is glass. If it had like N or P, it would be nano, polycarbonate, or polycarbonate. 8 would be your 80 CRI. If it was 9, it would be 90 CRI. And then 35, of course, in this particular example, is 3,500 K. If it was 40, it would be 4,000 K. You will also notice on this particular type A lamp, it is available up to about 194 lumens per watt, which is kind of cool. So in case you're looking for an extremely energy efficient T8 lamp, this would maybe be the one to look at. Now, because this is a type A, it does the watts for this one range from 8 to 12.9. The lumens per watt range from about 145 to 194, with lumens up to 2,200. The 4 foot 8.5 watt comes in at 1,650 lumens and 194 lumens per watt, just to kind of give you an idea. And those specifically are available in static CCT 35, 4,000, or 5,000 K. So all of those type A lamps are available in those 3 static or fixed CCT. Key features include the fact that it's easy lamp for lamp plug and play installation, assuming that you check that ballast compatibility. Also, the 330-degree wide illumination angle allows for greater light distribution. Additional selling features is that it can be used on shunted or non-shunted sockets. The frosted glass lens allows for better light transmission, reduced visual glare, and also provides optimal heat dissipation. These can operate in damp locations from -4 degrees Fahrenheit up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. All SKUs are DLC, UL certified, damp location, and come with a 5-year warranty. And that basically takes care of the type A. Any questions on that before I move forward? It doesn't look like it, so I'm going to continue to keep moving because we got more to go through. All right, next we have our type B T8. Now, type B lamps do bypass the existing fluorescent ballast and wires directly into line voltage. Now, typically this lamp is used when the existing fluorescent ballasts are fairly old, because you can imagine if you were to use a type A on an older ballast and then the ballast fails, at that point, you would then have to either bypass the ballast and buy a new lamp, or you would have to buy another ballast. And so it's kind of a problem that way. So a type B, you do not use the existing fluorescent ballast. So you do have to wire that directly into line voltage. Typically an electrician is required for that. Now these are offered in 2, 3, and 4 foot lengths. Some models, as you see here in the upper right-hand corner of the picture, they do feature field set, and that feature is conveniently located on the side of the lamp versus the end. Some of our competition actually has it at the end, ours is on the side. Now, we have noticed that some manufacturers have it, we have also noticed that some manufacturers do not offer it all the way up to 6,500K, and ours goes all the way up to 6,500K as an option. Now, these all operate at 120 to 277 volts. Most can operate on both single or double-ended power. Just refer to the spec sheet on that. And then also, if you're looking for your traditional wattage replacement, all of our spec sheets do include that too. So you can definitely check that out as well. And in case I forgot to mention, a new feature on our spec sheet is you will find on the far right-hand side of the available models, we actually give you the DLC little number as well. So in case you're trying to figure out what the DLC is, there it is right there for you. And just look at our spec sheets for that. All right, for the type B, the watts range from 9 to 15, and the lumens per watt range from 116 to 173, with lumens up to 2200. These are available in static CCT, except we do have a few SKUs that do feature field set with 5 CCTs. Specifically, the 4-foot version, 4,000 or 5,000K comes in at 1,650 lumens. That's about 9.5 watts and 173 lumens per watt. Again, go to the spec sheet. There's all kinds of different models on there. Now, of course, with this being a type B lamp with the integrated driver, a key feature means that you can eliminate the ballast with just a simple installation using shunted or non-shunted sockets for single or double-ended install. So it takes the guessing game kind of out of it. The 5 color temperatures in one also allows for reduced inventory and also provides more flexibility to the installer and also the end user. What else? The 330-degree wide illumination angle, also we talked about before, also provides a little bit greater light distribution. Additional selling features, it's kind of hard to talk about a type B lamp, but I guess additional selling features is a frosted glass lens, better light transmission, reduced visual glare, provides optimal heat dissipation too. These can operate down to -4 up to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, these are also compatible with some emergency battery backups. Just go to the spec sheet for information on that. All SKUs are DLC, UL certified, damp location, and come with a 5-year warranty. And of course, don't forget, we've got that one with the field set, which is pretty cool. All right, so before I move into the type A plus B, are the plastic A or B lamps NSF listed? Okay, so this is a challenging one, and I don't know exactly how I should answer it, but I am going to say one, the type B, well, actually, this is an easy question, actually. These are all glass lens. So no, none of these are going to be NSF. Sorry, I'm being ahead of myself. None of them are NSF. Are the plastic A and B lamps that we are not talking about right now that we do have NSF. Some of them are NSF, and it'll say it clearly on the spec sheet. So Lindsay, to answer your question, plastic, some of them are. We are coming out with a true plastic one here in about another 2 or 3 months, but we do also make some polycarbonate ones too that do meet NSF. So just look at the spec sheet for that. Will we still offer higher wattage type B tubes, 18 watt, 20 and 25 watts? This is another can. If you send a message to Daniel and see if he can answer that question. If not, we'll get back to you on that. Anything at 347 volts, not right now, that I am aware of. And again, Can, if you don't mind, maybe just send in a quick question to Daniel to answer those two. That would be awesome. Normally all of our product managers are on these calls, but Daniel's actually traveling this week.
I can
So we'll
answer
come back
this
to that.
one.
Yep.
I can answer this one. Will not have a 347 at this moment.
Okay. All right. So no plan for that one. So we'll get rid of that one. So then it's just a matter of, will we still offer higher wattage type B tubes, the 18, the 20, or the 25 watt? And I just don't know. These only come up to 15 watts. So we'll have to find that out from Daniel and see if it's on the list of things to still keep out there. So stay tuned for that. All right. Thanks for finding that out for us, Cam. All right, I'm going to continue to go on to our type A plus B LED T8 lamps. So this is just a combination of a type A and a type B lamp. So that means the lamp can be used with the existing ballast as a type A. And then once that ballast fails, the customer, all they have to do is bypass that ballast or take the ballast out, but they can at least use the same lamp without having to purchase another lamp. So that's very kind of clever that we have a type A plus B. So let's say you have a customer who currently has ballasts that are just a few years old. Maybe they don't want to do any wiring. They don't want to pay for that. They can easily use a type A plus B, just remove the existing lamp and install the lamp, easy plug and play, assuming that the ballast is compatible. And then when those ballasts begin to fail, the lamp at that point will not turn on until the ballast is either replaced or until somebody goes up there and does a ballast bypass using line voltage. All right, this lamp is only offered, as you see by the configurator here, the available models in a 4-foot, as that is the most popular. 35, 4,000, or 5,000K are your option. Yeah, make sure I said that right. Now, of course, if you're using this is a type A install, the voltage depends on the current ballast, but for type B installation, it can work on 120 to 277 volts. You basically have two options for watts, either 12 or 15, and the lumens per watt range from 140 to 150 with lumens up to, again, that magic 2200. These are available in static CCT only, as I mentioned, 35, 4,000, or 5,000K. Specifically, just so you know, the 150 lumen per watt one is a 12 watt version. And again, that's can be either the 4,000 or 5,000K, and it's about 1,800 lumens. Now, with this being a type A plus B lamp, the key feature is the flexibility. I already kind of went through the details of that. And then again, these also, if you're doing a type B installation, they do work on shunted or non-shunted sockets, single or double-ended power. The 330 degree wide beam illumination angle allows for that greater light distribution. And like you heard me say a couple of other times, frosted glass lens, better light transmission, reduced visual glare, optimal heat dissipation as well. These can operate in damp locations, the same thing, -4 Fahrenheit to 113 Fahrenheit. And then also there's some compatible emergency batteries. Just refer to the spec sheet for that. All SKUs are DLC, UL certified, damp location, and come with a 5-year warranty. And that pretty much does it for our T8 lineup. Can, did we get an answer back from Daniel on the higher wattage T8s?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so we'll come back to that. No problem. All right, so moving on, if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the next product. So this is the PL lamps. Now, before we deep dive into plug-in LEDs, I don't know about you, but for many, many years, I got away from anything that had to do with plug-in anything from a fluorescent standpoint because it was just a pain in the butt. But the good news is we've gotten a lot easier, but I just wanted to share some details that might be helpful for you into the future. So, the compact fluorescent base, all right, that can also be the base of an LED lamp. And then of course, next to it is the socket. That's what plugs into it. That's very basic. Now, what's really kind of cool about this is there's these little numbers on these part numbers too. And if you look, these are actually the measurement from pin to pin. So you can kind of see here, the first one's 23, 24. So those are 23 millimeters from pin to pin, but you'll see that there's 23, 24, 7, and 11. And again, that's just the measurement from pin to pin in millimeters. Additionally, you may also see a D or a Q. D means that it is a dual pin or 2-pin, and Q stands for quad or 4-pin. That's always kind of something nice to know. Also, this is a tricky one. There are numbers 1, 2, and 3, and also there's a 4, and these are the tabs where the tabs are actually positioned. So 1, the tabs are centered on the top and bottom. 2, the tab is positioned to the left and right. 3, they are opposite than the last one I just said. And then the 4th one, you basically have 4 of them. All right. So interesting, but thought I would share that. So those part numbers actually mean something. And they were really important to understand those back when you're trying to figure out what compact fluorescent to use. Fortunately, as I mentioned, LED technology and these little tabs are not nearly as important as they used to be, which you're going to learn about here in just a minute. So similar to TLEDs, we of course have a type A, type B, and type A plus B for PLs. So first of all, let's talk about the type A PLs. These are the easy plug and play install, and it uses the existing ballast, assuming it's compatible. As you can see by the image in the upper right-hand corner, these lamps come in a number of shapes and sizes. The one common thing is that all of these lamps have that same G24Q base. And again, what does Q stand for? 4-pin, that's right. Now, there are a number of wattages available depending upon the lamp shape and size and what it's replacing. You can definitely refer to the spec sheet for the traditional wattage suggested replacement. And also the beam angle varies from one SKU to the next. And so does the installation position. As you notice here on the spec sheet, horizontal, vertical, and some are omnidirectional. So why do we care about that? Well, installation matters because you can see by this traditional fluorescent downlight shown here, some lamps can be installed horizontally, while some just plug directly in, aka vertical. As you can see with this specific vertical installation, a lot of light is lost up inside the fixture. If you were to use an LED PL replacement lamp, that's more of a directional light source. In this case, the LED vertical lamp, it's an excellent upgrade because more light is going to get down directed into the onto the work surface than if you were to use something else. So just pay attention to what you're putting the fixture in or the lamp into, and then determine the application as well. So that's just something to kind of keep an eye out. Now, since this is a type A, voltage is dependent on the existing ballast. The watts range from 6 to 17, and the lumens per watt range from 95 to 134. Lumens are up to about 2050. Key features include the fact that it's easy lamp for lamp plug installation. Just make sure you check that ballast for compatibility. It does work on multiple sockets as well. You can look at the spec sheet. So as you can see, this little socket compatibility guide, which again, you can see right on the spec sheet, any of these PL type A lamps can work on any of these sockets. So if you were to have a specific lamp for each one of these sockets, that would be like a pain, and now you don't have to. So this G24Q can work on any of these G24Q sockets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it does not matter. Thank goodness, it's gotten a lot easier. There's also 3 color temperatures in one on a couple of these products, which of course is reduced inventory, flexibility, and there's a rotatable base on a few of these too, which allows you to rotate the lamps. You're going to find that rotatable base on those that have a horizontal install. So that way, when you install the lamp horizontally, you can move it if you need to get that light where you need it to be. So that's another huge selling feature. Other selling features include a polycarbonate lens, which aids in reduced risk of injury and breakage. Same operating temperature as all the other ones I mentioned. It does operate in damp location. Many SKUs, but not all meet DLC. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, refer to the spec sheet. All SKUs are UL certified, damp location. They come with a 5-year warranty. And as I mentioned, some SKUs do feature that field set option. Any questions on this before I move into the next one? All right. We do have our product manager, by the way, on the call for the next few ones that we have here. So that's the good news. Next, we have our type B PL lamp. These, of course, is the ballast bypass. So they don't use an existing ballast. They just wire directly to line voltage. We do offer a type B solution for a 2G7 and a 2GX7. Now, both of these are lamps that we haven't offered before, so it's a little bit more of a niche market. These are the ones with the pins in a straight line. And we also have another one that is your traditional G24, more traditional G24. D means the 2 base. And remember, Also, depending upon the SKU, we also have horizontal and vertical operation. Just refer to the spec sheet for information on that. So the 2G7 is offered in a 3.5 watt. The 2GX7 is 5.5 watts. Both of these are either 27 or 4000 K. In case you're wondering, well, why do you have one or the other and not 3000 K or something else? It's just based on history and how many people sold or how many people bought what. So that's the reason why we have 27 or 4000 K. With the G24D, this is available in a 15.5 or 16.5 watts. Actually, I probably misspoke on that. The 2GX7 and the 2G7 are both newer SKUs, but we looked at inventory and sales that we had on other similar PL lamps, and that's the reason why we decided to go with the 27 and 4000. So sorry, I spoke on that one. Anyways, I was saying the G24D is available in a 15.5 or 16.5 watt. Now, depending upon the lamp, you've got 100 to 129 lumens per watt. 330 up to 2000 lumens. Again, it just depends on your lamp and the SKU that you're looking for. Now, of course, with this being a type B lamp with the integrated driver, key feature means you can eliminate the ballast with just a simple installation. Additionally, two SKUs feature a rotatable base that helps with precision aiming. And the most important thing is the G24D lamp works on any of these sockets, which means fewer SKUs to manage. Again, refer to the spec sheet for that. Now, just to drive this home a little bit more, this is a 2-pin lamp, but it can work on existing 2-pin and 4-pin sockets. Yes. It does have a polycarbonate lens, which of course reduce injury and breakage. These can be operated in damp locations from -4 to 113 Fahrenheit. These are not suitable for use with dimmers, by the way. All SKUs do achieve UL certified damp location and come with a 5-year warranty. Any questions on this before I move into the next one? Okay. Are we still out there yet? I know I'm getting dry in my throat. We got a couple more here to get through. So next we have our type A plus B PLs, best of both worlds, as we talked about, available in multiple shapes and sizes, horizontal, vertical, or omnidirectional. You'll notice that most of these have a G24D base, while there are two at the end here, far right-hand side, that have a 3.5 watt available in a G23 base, and the 5.5 watt available in a GX23 base. Now, I know I explained this in the previous slide, but I just wanted to highlight this one more time as it pertains specifically to these type A plus B lamps. So the G24D base, which is the most common base, this PL LED lamp has 2 pins, all right? But it will work on a 2 or 4-pin socket. However, as you can see in this compatibility chart, existing 2-pin sockets, again, noted by the D for dual pin or 2-pin, these replacement lamps can be installed either using a type A or type B installation. So if you're using this 2-pin on an existing 2-pin, you can do a type A or type B. However, if you're planning on putting this 2-pin into a 4-pin noted by the Q, it has to be installed using a type B installation. That's probably the most critical thing to take away from everything I've said so far today. Now, last, the G23 does work on the G23-1 or the G23-2, and the GX23 does the same thing, GX23-1 or GX23-2. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so we had a couple of questions. Is it fair to say that eventually the type A will drop? I don't think so. Why not just sell type A plus B version? You know, yes, I understand what you're saying. I don't know exactly if you have a better answer for this, but I would say type A is just very simple, very easy, and it's inexpensive. A type B does cost more money, and because we're always in a competitive situation, sometimes we have to have those type of price points. Anything else to add to that?
Type A lamp is more balanced capabilities than that A plus B. So see, for a lot of CFLs out there, type A will be easier, just plug and play. So type A will be remains, but not just A and B can replace.
Okay. So he's basically saying a type A is easy plug and play, assuming that you have ballast compatibility. I mean, you kind of get that too with the type A plus B. It's the same thing. I'm going to go back to my answer of being more expensive.
Yes,
perhaps. Okay, fair enough. Good question. All right. Keep them coming if you have more questions. All right, guys. It gives me a break to take a second to swallow. All right. So next we have up the PL A plus B. Sorry, let me go on to this. Of course, we were already talking about this. See, I'm already losing where I'm at. So going on a little bit further with the PL type A plus B. If you look at this, you've got 120 to 277 volts. Of course, if that's for type B, type A depends on the current ballast that's there. But in the type B installation, you've got the option of 120 to 277. You've got range of watts from 3.5 to 9, 95 to 139 lumens per watt, up to 1,250. It depends on the SKU. It depends on the lamp. Just look at the spec sheet. We do offer a static CCT of 27, 35, or 4,000, in addition to 2 G24D SKUs featuring field sets. Now, of course, with this being a type A plus B lamp, the key feature is flexibility. The other thing to kind of mention is that you do have that flexibility of the different color temperatures and the field set option on this particular lamp that you see here. And then, of course, the horizontal SKUs do also feature that rotatable base for the precision aiming. Additional selling features is the polycarbonate lens, reduced risk of injury and breakage, same operating temperature as all the other ones we talked about. All SKUs are UL certified, damp location, come with a 5-year warranty as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on. We've got 4 more products to talk about, by the way, guys. I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting to the end. So this is our backlit panel, the BP one, and it replaces the BLP and the FPH3. These are available in a 1x4, a 2x2, and a 2x4, 30 and 40 watt base SKUs available, or we also have a power set option. You have the option of fixed 4000K CCT or field set. These are available up to 347 volts. Factory installed options include a cord and emergency battery backup. There are 2 external emergency battery backups that are compatible with these fixtures, by the way. Again, these are noted on the spec sheet. Additional accessories include a surface mount kit. These kits allow for the fixture to actually be slid in from either the long or the short side. The previous version only allowed it to be installed on the short edge. So this is kind of a nice little extra selling feature. Also, the recess mount kit is usually used for wall or sheetrock applications. There's also aircraft kit for suspending the fixture as well. Please note, these accessories may not be available until mid to late Q2. So we were a little behind on getting those into our warehouse. You're going to notice in the lower right hand, I always try to do videos on all of our fixtures. You can see these at EiKO.com. Click on resources, click on training, and then click on lighting it up with Lynette. These are very quick videos that will show you a little bit more about the product and talk to you about it. So that's going to be playing in the lower right-hand corner. At any rate, these fixtures are commonly used in offices, hospitals, retail applications, schools, and for general purpose lighting. As I mentioned, available in 120 to 277 or 120 to 347, up to 125 lumens per watt, fixed wattage of 30 or 40. And the power set does feature 3 lumen stops that range from 2,500 to 6,250. By the way, this is about 750 lumens more than the previous backlit panel that we had. And then for the fixed CCT, I already mentioned it's 4,000K. For field set, you've got the option of 35, 4,000, or 5,000K. Now, key features include an improved backlit design, which has the LEDs across the entire back of the panel. This allows direct lighting that does not require the dispersal of the light via light guide plate, which ultimately provides a more efficient light source and an overall construction that is extremely lightweight. But it will still resist bowing when hung, which is a big thing. There are 4 knockouts on the extended 6-inch junction box, which allows for easy access and quicker installation compared to the previous design. This fixture also comes with seismic clips. These clips are able to be removed, and the holes are used for suspending the fixture and cabling. I'm just wondering, I'm looking at this video real quick. Was this the backlit or was this the edgelit? I'm just curious because I could have sworn that all of a sudden I was like, nope, that is a backlit. I was having a moment for a second. I was like, is that the backlit or the edgelit that's playing? All right, good. I have the right one there. Thank goodness. So anyways, multitasking in my brain for a second. So the backlit panel does have that 6-inch junction box that's a little bit bigger, allows for easy access, quicker installations compared to the previous design. Now it does come with seismic clips. These basically help when you just bend them over and they actually kind of hold on the T-grid. You don't have to use them, but they're kind of nice for sure. These clips can be removed though, and then what you can use those holes, and then there's this little cabling that you can put in there to suspend the fixture if you want to. Now, additional features include 2 kV of surge protection, 0 to 10 volt dimming with dim to off driver, 120-degree beam angle, white powder coated aluminum frame, and non-yellowing PMMA diffuse lens. Looks like this one is going to be -4 Fahrenheit to 102 Fahrenheit ambient operating temperature. Certifications include ETL listed for US and Canada, FCC, RoHS stamp location, 0 to 10 volt dimming, power set, field set, IC rated, which means it can come in contact with insulation. It comes with a 5-year warranty. And by the way, it is no longer pending. We've got some SKUs that are DLC and some that are DLC premium. And again, those are no longer pending. So a few of them are, Mark. It just depends on the spec sheet. So just look at the SKU and you'll find those that are DLC premium. So it's kind of a mixture of two. All right, so those are no longer pending, by the way. All right, next one is our EP1 edge lit panel, different from the BP1 in the fact that the LEDs are located along the sides of the fixture versus down the back. The EP1 replaces the SLM, if any of you are familiar with that. Available in a 1x4, 2x2, and 2x4, power set and field set only. So nothing static or fixed about this fixture. It's all power set and field set. 120 to 277 volt. Factory installed options include cord and emergency battery backup. Check out the spec sheet for that. There are also 2 external emergency batteries that are compatible with these fixtures. They are the same ones that are compatible with the BP1, by the way. Additional accessories include the surface mount kit. These kits, just like the other ones, allow the fixture to be slid in from either the long or the short edge. We also have the recessed mount kit that's used for wall or sheetrock applications. There's also an aircraft kit for suspending the fixture, and these accessories too will be a little bit delayed. So just keep an eye on that. So like the backlit panel, this fixture is commonly used in offices, hospitals, retail applications, schools, and for general purpose lighting. Available only in 120 to 277, as I mentioned, up to 125 lumens per watt. 2 power set options featuring 3 lumen stops, and those lumens range all the way up to about 3,700 up to about 6,200. And the field set option is 35, 4,000 or 5,000 K. Now, of course, the key features include the fact that it's super ultra slim. So as you can see in the video right there, it provides a very sleek appearance and offers more installation options for like drop ceilings or surface mounting or suspending architecturally. There are also 4 knockouts on that J box, which allows for easy access and quick installations. The fixture, like the backlit panel, comes also with the seismic clips. And of course, these clips can be removed and the holes can be used for suspending the fixtures with cabling. And we do have a part number, a separate accessory for that. Additional features include the 2 kV of surge protection. I already mentioned 0 to 10 volt dimming, but it also has a dim to off driver, 120-degree beam angle, white power coated aluminum frame, non-yellowing PMMA diffuse lens, same operating temperature as the BLP, and nearly the same certifications, except for this one here is going to be DLC premium. So you might be asking yourself, so why do we have a backlit and an edge lit panel? Well, it's because some people just like the look of an edge lit panel. Additionally, what people are starting to do nowadays is mount these using cabling suspended from the ceiling. This fixture will perform a little bit better than the BP1 in those situations. It'll look a little bit nicer. And then the third reason that somebody might want the edge lit panel is because the box on the back, the J box on the back of the fixture, is a little easier to access to get all your wires shoved in there versus the backlit panel. So those would be all my reasons why we would have a backlit and an edge lit, and why people would maybe want to sell the edge lit over the backlit. It is definitely more expensive though, just so you guys know. Any questions on that? All right, let me keep moving here. I got 2 more left. So this is our Bay E3, and it is replacing EiKO's Bay C because, originally, this Bay E3 was really designed with performance and value in mind. The value's there, the performance is there, but honestly, this could definitely replace the Bay E2 because it has some really great features that the Bay E2 used to have as well. Some SKUs most SKUs are available in matte black, some are available in white. If you see this model configurator, by the way, this is kind of new to all of our spec sheets. Just make sure that you realize that not every single SKU can be can be created. Okay, so on our spec sheets, you're going to see this configurator. That doesn't mean that every single thing that can be designed. You have to go a little bit further down in the spec sheet to actually see what available models are. So I just wanted to point that out. At any rate, this is a forged aluminum construction, 11 or 13 inches, weighs less than 7 pounds. It has a number of accessories available, including a prismatic and aluminum reflectors and also a cone lens. Mounting is easy with the included eye bolts. There's also an optional yoke for surface mounting or hook mount also. It is compatible with our newest cylinder emergency battery backup. We don't really have a slide on this little guy. So this is the most attention this little emergency battery backup is going to get today. So just kind of keep an eye on that. If you have a round monopoint type fixture, this is a really great emergency battery backup to use. Because it works a little bit better than a traditional linear style battery backup. And you can just go to EiKO.com to learn more about that. Now, as you can see by the model configurator, it is available in a fixed wattage and also power set. And then also you've got the fixed CCT as well as an option for field sets. The switches for the selectable CCT are on the top of the fixture. There's actually a little rubber gasket that goes over the switches to keep the IP rating of 65. Again, black is standard, white is optional. It does also come with a 10-foot power and dimming cord, but at the factory, we can add various cord ends if you want. And then of course, since this fixture is controls ready, we can easily add sensors or network lighting controls either at the factory, or it can be easily done in the field with no special wiring. And that's basically all I wanted to mention on that. So we'll move on to the next slide. Now, of course, this fixture is great for many applications ranging from commercial to industrial to education. It is available in 120 to 277 or 120 to 347, up to 150 lumens per watt. Fixed wattage is available up to 300 watts and 45,000 lumens. Power set version is available up to 240 watts and 36,000 lumens. You either have fixed CCT of 4,000 or 5,000. And then of course you got the field set featuring 35, 4,000 or 5,000 K. Just to give me a break, let's look at the question that came through. All right. We have the Bay E3 and 480. No, we will not. We will not have the Bay E3 and a 480 volt, but we will have the HBX3, which we will be launching next week at the agent webinar. So that will be in stock very soon. So if you want 40 volt, you'll have to move over to the HBX3. Great question. And I've got at least one person who's still listening. So that makes me feel good. Anyway, I already talked about most of these features. I don't probably need to talk about them all over again, but controls ready, easily add standalone or network lighting controls. Go out, check out Lighting It Up with Lynette. I'll show you exactly how to add either network lighting controls or standalone controls to this awesome fixture. It's simple, it's easy. That's what it's all about with our controls anyways. The other thing probably that's kind of worth mentioning is the 10-foot power and dimming cord and the fact that it has all these different types of ways to mount the fixture. Now, I do realize that some of you may be going, hey, it has an eye bolt instead of the hook mount, because I know many of you were familiar with the hook mount on the Bay E2. I'm sorry, but you're right. It does come with an eye bolt, not the hook, but you can purchase the hook separately if you want to. If that's a big issue, let us know. Additional features include 6 kV of surge protection, 0 to 10 volt dimming and dim to off driver, 90-degree beam angle, optional prismatic or aluminum reflector and lens. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of a neat little feature. I know a lot of people kind of like that more traditional look. So if you do, we can get you a prismatic reflector and also a prismatic cone lens. Otherwise, it would just be an aluminum reflector. And then we also have a wire guard that you can also get. So I guess to back up, the aluminum reflector does not come with a lens. It doesn't work with the lens that's there. That lens is specific to the prismatic reflector. All right. It does work also with that newest cylinder battery backup that I showed you before. Impact resistant polycarbonate lens, matte black, or in some cases, you might be able to get the power coated white finish too. Ambient temperature range, -40 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And then just keep in mind, if you do plan on adding controls to this fixture, one, you're going to want to check the controls temperature to add that. So all sensors have a different type of control operating temperature. So make sure you double check that. And two, if you're planning on putting a microwave sensor onto this fixture, you want to make sure you suspend that fixture directly to either the ceiling or have it on like a pendant of some sort, because any kind of movement using a microwave sensor is going to make that sensor go off. And then last up, these are all of the certifications. So we've got UL listed for US and Canada, FCC, RoHS, IP65, 0 to 10 volt dimming, power set, field set, controls ready for standalone or network lighting controls. And this one also comes with a 5-year warranty. And this is also DLC premium. So anyways, you can kind of check out some of the cool things I'm doing with adding controls to that fixture. It's pretty nifty. All right, next up, this is our compact linear high bay. This is the smallest and lightest weight linear fixture that EiKO, I think, has ever had, coming in at just 4.4 pounds and 14 by 11 inches. This comes with V-hooks and aircraft cables. Additional accessories include a pendant mount kit, threaded rod and surface mount kit, as well as wire guard. These are also compatible with emergency battery backup options. Now, I realize some of you may be wondering why the EMs for this product isn't the same as the LLHE that many of you are familiar with. It's because there are different drivers and different voltage requirements, and so you cannot use the same drivers as you did on the LLHE. Now, as you can see by the model configurator, this product is only available in power set and only fixed CCT, 120 to 277, and 0 to 10 volt dimming. Of course, through our fixture modification program, we can add various cords and cord ends. And of course, since this is controls ready, we can easily add sensors or network lighting controls, either, actually, we were going to say either at the factory or a field installed. What we've decided is that these are so easy to install. We're not actually going to add any of these in our fixture modification, mainly because most of these don't fit back in the box, and because they're just so simple, it takes no time whatsoever to add controls. It's very easily done in the field. So this fixture is great for many applications, including commercial, industrial, and also retail settings, as well as even educational facilities. Now, as I mentioned, this is available in 120 to 277, up to 140 lumens per watt. Power set features 4 lumen stops. You got at 150, 130, 110, and 90. The lumens do range from 12,600 up to 21,000, fixed CCT of either 4,000 or 5,000 Kelvin. Of course, besides the power set option, the light compact weight that it has, easy one-person installation, controls ready, easily add standalone or network lighting controls. The fact that it comes with V-hooks and cables are pretty cool. You get that right out of the box as soon as you open the box up, which is nice. Additional features include 6 kV of surge protection, 0 to 10 volt dimming with dim to off driver, 90-degree beam angle, polycarbonate lens, white power-coated die-cast aluminum style with molded heat sink fins, basically enhance the performance and heat dissipation. This thing's not going to bow or bend or anything when you get it up in the ceiling, which is great. And it also has that -40 F all the way to 120-degree F. So you can see how small and compact it is in that video that I'm playing. And again, check that out at EiKO.com. Certifications include UL listed for US and Canada, FCC, RoHS stamp location, 0 to 10 volt dimming, power set, controls ready. And again, that's for standalone or network lighting controls. And this also comes with 5-year warranty. And it also is DLC listed. All right, I'm almost to my hour mark. And the last thing I wanted to end is that we also launched our network lighting controls, or kind of relaunched our network lighting controls. I don't have time to talk to you guys, nor do you want me to, all about network lighting controls. There's all kinds of training on EiKO.com regarding EiKO's network lighting controls, or you can come check it out at the IQ at Olathe. The bottom line is that our network lighting controls are simple, quick, easy. It is DLC approved. It is Bluetooth low energy mesh. That's part of SIG. Easily group fixtures, create zones, set high end trim, low end trim, create scenes, personal control, no gateways, no hubs, no routers are required. And it uses an iOS, yes, Apple, for commissioning. And that's basically the summary of our network lighting controls. Very, very fast summary. LHCI is only available in 122.7. The option shows 480 volt code. The LHC. Yes, thank you. LHC1 only available in 120 to 277. Why in the world would we show 480 volt plug? Hey, that's a great question. I will find out why we did that. It was probably an oversight. So, Jimmy, I'm glad you pointed that out. Did Daniel get back to us with any of the questions that were outstanding? I thought there was one, but if you're still on.
I'm still on. The question for the high wattage type A tubes, we will offer 18, 20, and 25 as the highest one.
We will offer those. Oh,
Yes.
good. Okay. So to go back to the question of whether or not we're going to continue to offer type A tubes in the higher wattage, yes, we will.
Type B, actually.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll check out, Jimmy, why we show on the LHC one the 480 volt cord. That's a great thing. Sometimes we miss those silly things. So well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. This will be recorded in case you really want to listen to it again, or if you want to share it with somebody. Thank you so much for being on and helping me get through this. And again, I appreciate everybody's time. And Colin, I know you're there too. Thank you for also jumping on. I appreciate both of you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Annette.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.